Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. And there's a lot of vets out there that are weary and they're burdened and they need rest. And unfortunately for them, most of them are looking in the wrong places. And there's only one place they're going to find that rest, and that's in Christ. And that's what I want them to hear from me. Whether it's the cool thing, the hip thing or not, I really don't care. Because that's what I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing. Is trying to help others understand, hey, there is help. There's a lifeline out there. You got to quit looking in the wrong places. The only reason I'm even interested in talking about this stuff is because you said there's a lot of dudes that struggle with some of the stuff they've done, right? And because of this, because it means something to me, if there's something that I can say that can help them, then great. Like I told you, for us and for me and my guys, it was a celebration when we took the lives of evil people, and we knew we did, right? So at the end of the day, I don't want to take this issue lightly, because it should never be something that's taken lightly. But at the end of the day, if it can help other dudes, then I'm okay talking about it. Life and death isn't something to be taken lightly ever. Just because I'm a human being and humanity means something to me, regardless of where you were born, who you pray to. And so it's something I don't take lightly. But at the same time, it's something that most of us that get into this type of work understand that, hey, this is something that's a reality. And there's a greater good involved. And so for me, it was really never a big deal, because I knew there was a greater good. And I knew that with some of the things that I had to do, and some of the things that the guys that I was with had to do, it would be beneficial to not only Americans and the people I cared about, but also people overseas that I didn't know, but I cared about. Evil is something that it will always be there. And unfortunately, a lot of the times, it inhabits and corrupts men. And most of the time, a penitentiary, a jail sentence won't get rid of that evil. Sometimes it has to be ended forever. And that's something that doesn't bother me. I wish it wasn't the case. This is something that's always been important to me. Anybody that knows me understands how important my faith is to me. And because my faith is important to me, it's something that I look into and I try and refine and bolster on a daily basis. And when I look at all the examples in the Word, God had to get rid of evil, whether it was flooding the earth, flooding His own creation, or when He told certain God-fearing men that I want you to go into this land and I want you to destroy everything. It's real. It's there, whether you want to see it or not. And oftentimes He used men to destroy evil. He used warriors to destroy what was evil. And in that way, I've always kind of seen myself as a servant. And that's why it really doesn't bother me. That's always been a big part of my life, is trying to stick up for people that couldn't stick up for themselves. Fight for people that can't fight for themselves. A lot of times when you're sticking up for people that can't stick up for themselves, it might mean you going to blows. It might mean you going to war. The bottle openers that we sell are made out of 50 caliber rounds, 7.62 rounds, 30 millimeter. Basically, they're just tools that we use to stick up for people that can't stick up for themselves. And that's why I think it's so cool that we're able to use these as gifts, because they're so much more than a bottle opener. To me, they stand for freedom, liberty, and the ability to stand up to people who are oppressing others that can't stand up for themselves. It's something that's tough to introduce to your kids. You don't want them to understand that there's a lot of evil floating out there in the world, but eventually you have to break it to them. I want my kids to understand that evil triumphs when good men and women do nothing. And I don't want them to be afraid. I want them to be courageous when the time is right, when they know that evil is present and they need to do something about it.